Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Eves. I hope you all had a wonderful spring break. It was definitely a little rainy right before our spring break and a little bit during our spring break. So guess what has popped up all throughout our garden? Yes, weeds. And those of you who don't know what weeds are basically plants you did not plant. They kind of have found their way into little crevices and places we really don't want them. Luckily, we don't get a lot of weeds inside our garden beds, but we definitely have some around them and along the fence and by the fruit trees. So today is actually also planting day. So when you guys come out to the garden, we are going to be planting our warm season veggies. But if you're not planting with me, you're going to be helping out the garden by getting those weeds and getting them out of the ground so they don't take over and compete with our plants for soil, nutrients, and air and sun and everything that our plants need to grow. So I hope you enjoyed this cute story. It's called Weeds Find a Way, because they are very, very persistent. Weeds can really grow in the most weirdest places. I actually found one growing on top of our picnic bench. All they need is just a tiny little soil and maybe just a tiny bit of water, and they can really thrive. So I hope you enjoyed the book, and I look forward to seeing you in the garden this week. Here we go. Weeds find a way. Weeds find a way to live where other plants can't grow. Each weed carries thousands of seeds, each waiting to make a new weed. Weeds send their seeds into the world in wondrous ways, fluffing up like feathers and floating away on the wind. I'm sure many of you have grabbed one of these before. They are dandelions, and every time you blow one, you are actually blowing thousands of seeds out into the world. Swirled into prickly burrs that stick to socks and fur, poking into pants and paws like tiny needles. So these are called burrs, and they stick to our socks and they stick to dogs, and that's how they get moved from one place to another. Or shot out of tight, dry pods like confetti from a popped balloon, little parachutes. Weed seeds find a way to wait, sitting still in icy earth all winter. Or baking in shimmering summer heat on a white hot sidewalk without a whisper of wind. Here they are, sitting in those cracks, ready to start germinating. Till clouds billow and soft rain spills, carrying them floating downstream to sprouts. In the smallest, strangest place they could possibly live. Weeds find a way to grow by the side of a windy road, in a crack in the cellar of a creaky old house, in a tangle of tree roots at the top of a spine of stone, or wedged into the worn sole of a tattered sneaker. There it is. Weeds find a way to stay, reaching deep with a grip so strong, the stem always breaks first, leaving the living roots behind to sprout again. So something we'll be talking about when you come do some weeding. It's really important to get as many roots as you can, because if you just cut off the top part, it's just going to grow right back. Or sometimes if we pinch it into pieces, the minute you try to tug them out, spreading into a spray of plant parts that find new spots to take roots. So sometimes even just a little plant part can start a whole new plant. So when you pull weeds out of the ground, it's really important to get the whole thing so it doesn't grow back. Weeds find a way to fight, hooking tender skin with horny thorns, stinging unsuspecting tongues with invisible prickles, and surprising hungry insects with sap so tart it could turn a tongue inside out. Weeds find a way to be loved, sending up flares of righteous red, flags of green, umbrellas of the finest white lace, making a place sing with bees and birds, exhaling breath as sweet as sleep. So while we don't like weeds in our garden, they do provide a source of food and shelter for lots of animals and insects. Weeds find a way to stay, unexpected guests who just happen to bring the whole family along. So yeah, usually when there's one weed, there's lots of weeds. All right, so when you come to the garden, like I said, we're gonna be pulling some weeds to keep our garden nice and clean so our plants have everything they need to be successful. All right, again, I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.